There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".
Hey, I'm 5'6". Maybe you, Russ, Clark, with you on a brisk Monday. Nice out.
It's brisk.
Bill Reaganhart here. How are you, man?
Very good.
I haven't seen you since the New Year's. And
Yeah, I know.
been playing around, not shaving.
It's a whole new me.
But you
New year.
New Year. You ended up with some like flu symptoms.
Yeah, I had that super crud.
Yeah,
that was
well,
going
let's
around.
get one. Let's get the big one.
Yeah, right. No, it was brutal.
Was it?
Yeah.
Had to stay home and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I heard it's going around.
Well, and then you don't want to give anybody else the heebie-jeebies. So.
I see you care about that. I heard this morning that it's been a bad season, but it's getting better right now, and that's a bad sign. I'm like, well, not to me, but they said it could rebound.
Yeah,
and whatever flu's going around, whatever designation they gave it, that's not in the vaccine currently. So if you took it, you took the vaccine.
Didn't help.
Not going to do anything. But thank you for supporting our pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to help you. Gosh, I've got a lot here, but a lot's been happening in the country. But I don't know if you've been paying attention while you've been sick. You had a chance to catch any news, or you were in like the blogs.
It's craziness.
Yeah,
a little craziness going on.
I want to talk about some of the stuff going in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Of course, there's certain aspects of our politics, and there's certain people that want to keep this thing going as long as possible for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
One is that we don't talk about fraud, and they're politically they'd like to not talk about fraud from the Tampon Tim's side, right. And and Omar and all that.
Great distraction for them.
The more we talk about evil ICE people, jackbooted thugs, and Nazis.
Right.
Well, I haven't heard a lot of that. I mean, we've heard a lot of it over time, but in the last few weeks, all we hear is, murder.
Yeah.
Murdered and an unarmed woman, and she was just trying to get home.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff.
Well, Omar's talking about people being taken in the middle of the night.
Yeah, kidnapped.
Yeah,
some citizens. Right.
Shipped away.
Yeah, what are their names? What are these citizens?
Show me.
There have been citizens that have been caught in roundups, and they questioned.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
If you're hanging out with a bunch of people that are going to get raided, the police officers are all going to say, "Okay, everybody sit still. Let's sort it out. Who are you? What are you doing?" That's normal.
Yeah.
If they go arrest a bank robber and you just happen to be playing poker with the bank robber, you're going to have a few questions, like, "What are you doing?" And then they'll let you go. Hopefully,
yeah.
Hopefully that's just normal. But they blow it out of proportion. In fact, they lie about it.
Sure.
I think they do. And they lie about this poor woman just trying to get away. Now, I was at church on Sunday, and Pastor Tyrone addressed the issue, which I thought was kind of nice. Kind of a surprise, on how that fit in, but it does. It does fit in. And he talked about, whatever your political affiliation and all that, you should just set it aside and look at it. I mean, we feel bad for the lady that lost her life.
Sure.
And her family and the pains and all that kind of stuff. And for the police officer, the ICE agent that, had feeling that he had to defend himself and all that kind of stuff. And those things are not easy decisions, but take a look at it from, biblically even. And he said, biblically, he said that respect of authority is throughout the Bible.
Sure.
To respect for authority and all that. And he says, we need to remember that, and that these ICE agents want to go home at the end of the day, and they don't want to have any problems, and to do, have respect for authority. And I really like that in him, that he's not really picking sides, but he's looking at the lessons of what was learned.
Yeah.
And of course, this lady, now that more videos being released, we're seeing her job as she saw it, fit, and I don't know if she was paid or just felt like it was her job, was to disrupt, block. I mean, all that's illegal.
Sure.
And honking horns and blowing whistles to get in the way of the ICE agents, all illegal. But there's no policeman to arrest them. There's only ICE because the police are sanctuary cities,
Sanctuary city, yeah.
and they won't do anything to control this kind of behavior. So it got to the point where the ICE said, we've got to pull her out and arrest her on federal charges. And that's where the incident started, of her backing up, refusing, yelling. And the profanity and the stuff from all these ladies has been, over the top.
Right.
So let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, Russ, Fernando.
Good morning, Fernando.
Let me get my phone straightened out here.
All right.
I want to talk about these little soldiers, about Kelly.
Oh, go ahead.
I call them lead soldiers.
All right.
They'll melt with the pressure.
Okay.
And the heat. Huh?
You think Kelly's melting?
He is.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what. If you're in the Corps and you do that stupid thing, he would be nailed.
Why? I think he's not getting any. I mean, he's in the DOD. He's under the Pentagon. So I think he'll eventually get. Well, he already has. He's been demoted, and he's been demoted.
Well,
he's taking less money. Yep.
That's not enough.
Okay.
We need a George Patton again that slapped all these deserters.
Yeah, George got in trouble for that, man. That was not good for him.
I know he did.
Yeah.
But he put a precedent, something that you don't do in the Corps. I don't know about the Army, but the Corps you can't do that.
Yeah. No, you can't do that anywhere. I mean, I think George lost some of his. He lost the lead role and some stuff. They put him on some other roles.
Yeah, I just wanted to put him in the back rear and that other guy.
Yeah.
To get the honors.
Yeah, he didn't listen much. He kind of was. He was a general.
Well, he started in revolution against. He had the Pershing when they were.
Oh, I don't remember his whole history. No, I don't.
Oh,
I saw the movie.
The Pershing expedition in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
George Patton was in that unit, and like I say, they melt with the heat. Lead soldiers. He was a swabby, wasn't he?
He was a captain, man, and I think that he's in the Navy, so captain, but the same as colonel. I mean, that's high ranking. That's up there, and for him to do what he's doing now, he's doing it with eyes wide open. He knows the rules. He knows that it's not acceptable.
Not acceptable.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, well, I'll leave you. I'm headed west.
All right, buddy. Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, Kelly is, and since he called up, I'll take a sidebar there. But Kelly's been demoted. Of course, he's already retired. So you demote you, and that changes your take-home pay on your retirement and all that kind of stuff. But while he's receiving retirement and all because of his position and who he is, he remains under the same rules and regulations, and he could be recalled anytime, because he's not 65 yet. But he knew that when he's taking it. Now, I remember when that verdict came down or whatever it was, just wasn't a court trial. It wasn't any kind of a deal. The Pentagon, I guess, sat down and decided that based on the evidence and everything, we're going to do this thing.
Good, yeah.
And he's got 30 days to appeal. But I've talked to some people, and for him to appeal would mean that he would have to ask for a general court martial and go before peers and all that stuff. And worst case scenario, he could lose tons more.
Sure.
This could seem light compared to what could happen as far as demotion or whatever, or less pay and all that stuff. So I haven't heard whether he's going to pull that trigger and say, I want to appeal this to a general court martial. I haven't heard about that, but the people I talked to said that That is highly unlikely because he knows
Could be
he
a
knows
lot
the deal.
worse.
Yeah, he knows the deal.
Yeah.
So he may just accept this sanction and all that, but he's not doing it quietly, and he's continuing to run his mouth of negativity.
Yeah.
Hegseth is not qualified; he shouldn't be around, and all that. And he's putting disparaging on the entire military. It's not just he has a disagreement with them. It's personal attacks and stuff, but you're not qualified and can't do it. And look at the operation just happened in Venezuela.
Right.
They're qualified for something. And what did and Kelly seemed to embrace the DEI stuff and seemed to embrace all the nonsense that was going on. It was hurting recruitment and all that. But he kind of hates the fact that they are focused back on mission instead of this personal agendas and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I don't get it.
I don't know what's going to happen to him. But Hegseth has already warned, or I don't know if it's Hegseth or Trump or the Pentagon or something, that you keep crossing the line.
They're going to do something.
We'll keep talking.
Yeah.
We'll make another issue out of it.
Yeah.
Because he is crossing the line, and yeah, people say First Amendment rights and all that. Yeah, everybody's got them like that. So does he, and so do active military. But you don't join a political rally with your uniform. And you don't use that credentialing to say vote for this guy or hate this guy or whatever it is. You just don't. Now, as a U.S. senator, he's got to tread a little differently, probably, but he can still be against policy. He can still do any of that. He's just went way too far.
Yeah.
Asking people not to follow the orders of the and then hide behind.
Chief,
Well, it's in the handbook. Everybody knows it. Well, yeah, everybody does know it. You're just trying to emphasize to, put it in their mind to do it against Trump.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And that's undermining the authority of the President of the United States. And that's different than disagreeing with him.
Sure.
So Kelly, I mean, he's an embarrassment to me as far as that goes. But maybe on his base, because we're so divisive, he's like rallying and like, go ahead and break the law because ends justifies the means, I guess. But I don't know how it's going. Maybe he's raising more money than ever. Maybe made him a rock star on the left. I have no idea.
Yeah, he's just following the same line though as Walsh and Newsom and everybody else.
Yeah, of course.
Anything Trump is bad.
Of course.
So,
according to the left.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many successes there are.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. But in this new video in Minneapolis that's showing this young lady, what's her name? Renee Nicole Good. She was a foul mouth. Her and her wife were both obnoxiously aggressive, trained, I guess, to be that way from those leftist type organizations.
Trained agitators.
Yes. Yeah. And her wife came out and publicly stated, like with great pride, that that's her job. She's an agitator. That's what she does. I mean, like it's all acceptable. Well, it is acceptable in some circles, I guess. On the left, we're going to applaud that. But when it comes to law and order and all that, it's illegal. I mean, she crossed a line. It's not protest. Protest doesn't include blocking cars and causing disturbances and stuff. That's not protest.
No, it's hindering.
It's something else. Well, and the shame of it is nobody in the left is standing up and saying that. Elon Omar and all. Well, we need more of this. We need more disruptions. We need more chaos because we got jackbooted thugs. And I don't know if she said jackbooted thugs, but many kidnapping our citizens in the middle of the night. Some are citizens, and it's just an exaggeration of what's going on. It's not true. I mean, there's anybody kidnapped to my knowledge. If there is, let me know who they are. There are people taken into custody because they were on the list to be taken into custody for deportation because they shouldn't be here. They broke the laws. They got here illegally. And they're calling it kidnapping. I mean, you kidnap a bank robber when you go to his house and pick him up. Is that kidnapping? You broke up a family for some reason. But it showed that this new DHS video was released by DHS 3.5 minutes of footage. Came from a citizen nearby that DHS had, and it just shows the activity. And I think we should have more of that out there. I think the press should put more of that out there of what these disruptors are really doing.
Yeah.
DHS says this new evidence shows that the anti-ass agitator was stalking, impeding a law enforcement operation over the course of the morning. The evidence speaks for itself. The legacy media has lost the trust of the American people. I think they have lost trust of some American people. Others trust them more, and that's what's really scary because they're telling half truths. And I've seen some interviews where journalists, mainstream journalists, will say, "Well, that disrupting, is that the death penalty?" To try to
justify what,
try to scare, blur the, what really happened there. What the officer doing protecting himself was the gun was thrown. I mean, the car was thrown into drive, and he was standing right in front of it. Now, Elon Omar says, "Well, you should know better than to jump in front of a car coming at you, a moving car." No, no, this lady was being arrested and was asked to get out of the car, and the other officer walked in front of the car as it was backing up. I mean, it's very plain on the video. She threw it in drive and went straight towards him.
Yeah.
Now, she cocked the wheels to the right, but he couldn't see that, I'm sure. All he saw was the car coming at him. And I don't know. I mean, she ended up hitting him anyway. No matter how she was turning the car, she ended up hitting him. And he didn't step in front of it. He was already
there.
standing there.
Yeah.
In fact, he was standing there casually, no guns drawn. He had a cell phone in his hand, videotaping his fellow officer trying to make the arrest. When she threw it in a drive and gunned the car. And it looked right at him. We know that because he was holding a phone and videotaping it. And then we see where he was hit. He was on a glancing blow. And he, of course, he'd already fired before the car. I think he even hit him. He fired the first time. That's why there's a hole in the front of the windshield.
Yeah.
Because he was in front of the car.
Sure.
When you throw it in drive, that's not a good thing.
And it becomes a weapon.
Yeah. It was a weapon.
Yep.
And then the car got beside him and he shot in the window. Because she was after him, probably someone else he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Protecting himself, protecting other officers, because she crossed the line big time and wasn't going to stop. So he stopped her, and that's probably part of training. I don't know. I was never trained at anything, basically. I was never trained. But we need to hear it out. Of course, the press goes off media because this is a agitation moment to try to spool it up. And of course, every agency out there that is these rapid reaction agencies, these anti-Trump agencies, they put out calls to action immediately and send demonstrations all over the country.
Sure.
Same players. I mean, the demonstrations with Gaza or the demonstrations for any Michael Floyd or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We just got to go, get noticed, cause some fires, and do mostly peaceful protests.
Right. Peaceful.
Mostly peaceful protests. Protest is fine. In fact, it's protected.
Yeah.
Not burning police cars or running people down. I mean, that's not protected. And I think we've lost sight of it. And we really lose sight of it in these sanctuary cities where they say that we're going to allow illegal activity because we don't like the feds being here.
Right.
It's just insane. It's insane what's going on. Pritzker was talked about it. Our good governor of the state of Illinois. I mean, Jake Tapper figured, well, we got a friendly in here, so he played a clip from a podcast called State of the Union. Fanone is on it. Features Fanone. He's the guy that does it. It's the Lincoln Squares Project and Protect and Serve podcast. It was a Lincoln Square Protect and Serve podcast. Tapper does the State of the Union. This guy was a Protect and Serve podcast. And he appeared to urge Americans to use guns to defend themselves against ICE during, in the shooting in Minneapolis.
That's scary.
Now, that was in the podcast. Yeah. And Tapper likes it, so he's shown it So Pritzker, and I'll tell you Pritzker's attitude after this. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Well, you think for these agitators, Russ, and I like to see a CASA worker go down there. They're bringing their kids to these demonstrations now.
Well, of course, they want to raise them with the knowledge of how to handle things. Yeah.
Okay,
It's a shame. Yeah.
Now, I just got a high school education, but I believe when you put your children in an environment where there's violence, isn't that abusing your children?
Might be endangerment for sure.
Yeah, it is. Of course, what they're going to tell you is, "Oh, we're just here to protest." Now, have a kid to a protest, that's acceptable.
No, not if there's violence.
I agree. No, if they know violence, and I agree. You shouldn't have a kid do that.
Yeah, they're having violence. They're agitating. I mean, the fact that they're throwing snowballs and that's violence.
Yeah, it is.
Towards police. So where is the health or whatever the hell they're called to
Health and Human Services are their sanctuary city. The rules are different for them because they don't.
Right, I understand that,
Yeah.
but to me, again, I think the governor and the mayor should be prosecuted for allowing this to happen.
Well,
they're allowing these people to engage in violence.
there's a price to pay. I don't know if it's going to be prosecution. I mean, Tim Walz may be prosecuted for the Somali thing, the fraud, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's just amazing to me that this is going on and should be stopped.
Like Bass.
Yeah.
Like Bass and the riots in California. She should be charged for allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
And when I say allowing it to happen, she doesn't do anything to stop it.
There's an immunity for elected officials. I mean, that immunity doesn't go into bank robbery or anything, but there's an immunity for anything in their actions they take in their normal line of duty, because you can always second guess. I agree with it. This is extreme and stupid, but it still falls within it.
Yeah, when a law officer or a fireman get hit, that doesn't give them the immunity because of the riots.
Well,
I
mean, if it's Bass, it's kicking them. Yeah, if Bass is hitting them, but you're saying that she set it up because of her bad policies, that's still going to be immunity, I would think. I'm not a lawyer.
I would think that where she allows the riots to continue and officers get hit because she's not doing anything about it.
It's terrible, but I've seen it happen a lot. No,
Oh, so have I.
no mayor, nobody's been arrested for allowing violence. It's their call. That's what they're elected for. People, you got to be careful who you elect.
Oh, well, yeah. We got two idiots up there right now. All right, Galeo and Kelly
and Gago. Our two senators are very much, in my opinion, on the wrong side of these things. They support this kind of activity.
Oh yeah. Well, wasn't Galeo's family involved with the cartel in Mexico?
I have no idea.
I thought I heard a story that he was.
You might have, but I don't know of it. It doesn't matter. I don't care what his parents did. I'm more worried about what he's doing, and I'm not happy with it.
Well, you know what? First Amendment rights, I love them, but you know what? I see a lot of lying going on out there, and they're using the First Amendment rights.
Well, they're claiming it's First Amendment, but it's not covered in the First Amendment violence. It's not covered impede and arrest and parking your car in the middle of the road and honking your horn so no traffic can get by. That's not First Amendment rights.
Or throwing rocks through the back of their vehicles, or
right. Well, what I don't understand, again, just a high school education. If an officer that's driving forward and someone jumps in front of him and is backing up and he gets run over, does the officer get charged for hitting him?
I imagine that's a case by case. Gilbert, if he does it intentionally, he's not supposed to do it intentionally, even if somebody does it.
What I'm saying is, this guy's backing up. Police moving forward with his vehicle. This guy's backing up, and
You're talking about the incident specifically in Minneapolis. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she threw the car in drive
No,
and went after him. So that was
not her, not her. I'm talking about these people that jump in front of the cars to stop them.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to stop them, and they're walking backwards, and police cars going forward. This guy's walking backwards. If he falls down and he gets run over,
yeah.
does the officer get charged? Or do they charge back for damage?
I think it's beyond every case. You know, if it looks intentional or an accident, I don't know. I don't think an officer's going to intentionally run somebody over. I know they're frustrated, but I haven't seen that yet.
No, it'd be
No,
like that the guy that jumped on the hood of the car when they were driving forward. If that guy would have fell off the hood and got run over, that's his fault.
Well, we could do a test case next time you see Sheriff Wilmot pull out of the parking lot. Just run over and jump on his hood and see what happens.
Yeah, because there was this other idiot yesterday. He was in front of the car with his hands on the hood, and the police was moving forward. And this guy kept on going backwards and backwards. You know, now, if this guy would have fell down, and hit his head on the pavement and got partially ran over. Who do they charge?
I don't know, Gilbert. We'd have to wait till it happens. But
well, just a question.
Yeah,
you know,
I would think he put himself in harm's way, but the police officer still has to use his best judgment to try to not do it. But there should be a police officer there ICE is federal officer, no question. But there should be a police officer there keeping the peace of the citizens and pulling them off the cars, because you can't do that. But in the sanctuary cities, they're going for all chaos. They don't care.
Well, yeah, we know that. How was that? It's $10, $5 to show up, $10 to show a sign. That's what you get paid. $25 you're yelling and screaming and carrying on.
Yeah.
I saw something like that yesterday.
I certainly haven't seen a lot of the schedules of payment yet, but I've seen them in the past where they paid protesters, even in Yuma, they paid protesters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even especially if they come from out of town, right?
Yeah.
But it's just something. They're all getting paid. We all know that, because we know that she's the one that pushed the pedal in the car, and all of a sudden, well, her husband, the one that's in front of me, her wife, she was charged for child abuse. She put out cigarettes on her son's arm.
Yeah, I mean, they have a background, but again, the incident in Minneapolis stands on its own, whether she was an abuser or not, you know.
I'm talking about her mental state to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, she, burns her son's arm with cigarettes, just being abusive. What does it tell you about her character?
Oh, we already know that. Yeah, you're right. But the police officers can't act any differently based on that character. They just act on what's in front of them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about the media, how the media took over and doing what they're doing about this incident. But, the charges are out there for the media to know, if you're going to investigate people like they always investigate people, they aren't doing a very good job.
Yeah.
But anyway, you tangle, you tangle with the car, you're gonna lose. And every officer, every policeman, every serviceman, they want to go home to their family.
Yeah.
And they have the right to go home with their family. And if putting somebody out with a gunshot, get home, by God, do it.
See, man, be good.
Later.
Before I take a break, my fact checker sent me an article here from the police department in Chicago, the superintendent. He wants everyone to know, he talks about what's going on right now. And he says he issued blunt warnings about dangerous protest tactics, saying that if protesters boxed in law enforcement officers, including ICE, they are reasonable to believe that it's an ambush. The department will conduct an after-action review to refine tactics, improve interagency communications, and better protect officers and residents during future incitement, as Stelling put it, this is not a game.
And that
That's
was
out of Chicago.
that's out of Chicago. Wow. Okay.
Wow, I'm glad he's stepping up. He's the police department superintendent, Larry Snelling,
Well, that's different. Out of Chicago.
out of Chicago. I wonder what Pritzker thinks about that. Like, well, wait a minute, we're not supposed to help ICE or work with them or have inter department communications. He says future incidences, though. He's saying, like, look, this is not a game. It's about, I mean, this thing in Minneapolis should point out it's not a game. I think every officer should do that, including the Minneapolis officers, but they're silent. As far as I can tell, I haven't seen anything from them.
Well, then they're not letting them. They're not letting them get involved.
You mean the politics?
The politicians.
You
aren't letting them
you
get
can
involved.
fire a police
Either
officer.
local police officers or state troopers or anybody.
Should have a sheriff's department up there because they're hired by the people. But maybe they agree with Pritzker. I don't know. We'll be back. AM 560 KBLU.
Well, if you hate windy days, this is not your week. Mostly sunny, wind gusts out of the north at 15 to 25, maybe stronger today, 73 the high, clear at 50 tonight. Sunny and north winds at 10 to 20 tomorrow, 77 the high, 50 on Tuesday night. And then for Wednesday, mostly sunny and 81 with calmer winds that day.
To be a part of Russ's show, call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
Listen to KBLU from 8 to 9 every Monday morning to Life, Death, and the Law. Sean Garner and Adam Hansen discuss estate planning options. Learn how you can plan your estate using a will or trust to protect your family and secure your legacy. That's Life, Death, and the Law every Monday, 8 to 9 a.m. on 560 KBLU.
Oh, hello. It's me, the calculator that lives inside of TaxSlayer. And let me tell you, I love numbers. 1040s, 1099s, W-2s, all of them. With TaxSlayer, anyone can file a federal return for just $22.99. You'll get 100% accuracy and your biggest possible refund guaranteed. Now, those are great numbers. Need help along the way? We've got U.S.-based real human support. File by February 8th for just $22.99 and get the refund you deserve. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly. There's a man in D.C.
AM 560 KBLU. Let's start with you. Bill's here.
Hey,
Bill Reaganhart, the chairman of the Republican Party here locally in Yuma, who's been out sick, which I don't know. I guess we'll give it an excuse.
well, if you hear me coughing a little bit, that's why.
Jake Kapler, we started talking about him and him having Pritzker on the show, when he showed a tape from what's this guy's name? Fanone. Okay, Fanone, who in the podcaster is suggesting that the Second Amendment rights come in to protect themselves. We can shoot people. And he said Fanone says didn't need to hear calls from police to protect peacefully, and added, blank you, blank that. Meaning the police were acting, saying mean stuff. Well, Pritzker, had an opportunity there to agree or disagree with citizens should arm themselves against ICE. I think he took the right side. He said, well, violence is inappropriate in all these situations. And indeed, I've told the protesters, who are, in fact, the vast majority of peaceful protesters. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Keep the violence out of it. Make sure you are peacefully protesting. Be loud for America, but make sure you're not providing any excuse for the administration to try to send in the National Guard. I guess I was surprised. I was expecting Pritzker would jump in there,
Right.
And at least stay neutral or something. Well, that's up to him. I'm not saying that, but some people may be pushed too far, so I expect that. And that's not what happened. It's the opposite. He noted that Illinois has won a legal case so far to prevent the National Guard from being sent to the state. Yeah, they did some judge shopping and got that done. I don't think that's gone to appeal yet, but the president has that opportunity. But he was told to stand down by the courts, and he does that regardless. He's been very awful, although they tell him he's king and all that.
Right.
That he's breaking the laws. I don't know where, but they won't tell me. They just say, no, I don't.
No, I don't.
Pritzker says we've won in in our cases. We've won in our cases, not all cases. He said we won in our cases. But it's in part because we haven't created any situations in which an insurrection or rebellion looks like it's taking place. So he's advocating don't do that. We don't want to get step it up. And he knows Trump enough to know that somebody gets shot. It's not a cue for him to, well, we better leave this one alone. It's too dangerous to have law enforcement. He'll step it up to protect the law enforcement. Yeah. Our protesters are, and I just know that from what we've already seen.
Sure.
We have problems. He sends in more. Our protesters are doing the right thing, and we shouldn't have any talk of people bringing guns and matching force by civilians with law enforcement. What we need is for law enforcement at the federal level to back off, do their job, follow the protocols, do the right thing. Well, so which one is it? Back off or do their job?
Do their job.
He said both. But he wants them out of Illinois.
Sure.
He doesn't want them doing that job there, which, you know, if Pritzker were to have law enforcement protect these ICE agents, the situations would calm down.
Totally different.
Yeah, it'd be totally different. I mean, you're not seeing this in red states.
No.
During the State of the Union with Jake, which I don't like Jake Tapper.
Yeah.
You know, he protected Biden forever and then wrote a book on we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know, it was just terrible. Brian Lanza was on the show, former senior advisor to Trump in the 24 campaign. He addressed Fanone's documents. He said CNN's favorite policeman, Michael Fanone, he's talking about, you know, people using guns against ICE enforcement to deal with these situations. All that's happening on the left is truly an escalation. I think it needs to stop. Tapper noted that if Fanone no longer works for CNN, you know, he wants to separate. No, but you're still promoting him.
Give him distance. Yeah.
Brian says he's literally asking for a confrontation with law enforcement and citizens, a gun exchange. I don't think that's a good idea against these guys.
No.
But the people that are promoting it or pushing for it, they're not grabbing the guns themselves. They want someone else to do it because they're looking for martyrs, like this lady in Minneapolis. Fanone says Tapper is just kind of like a clown. I mean, he always struck me as, you know, he's kind of like an opportunist. He's very much like J.D. Vance-ish. I just kind of felt like he goes whatever he sees upward mobility for himself and, you know, an opportunity. So is he picking on JD because he agreed to be the vice president? Well, if you say yes to the president's request, then you're just sucking up. You're wanting upward mobility. I guess that's what he's saying. I don't know where JD Vance is opportunistic other than, you know, he ran for Senate. He became a senator.
Right.
And then he got that opportunity when Trump put his hand on his shoulder and said, "We need you at a higher level." He said, "Okay." And then this guy called, "Hey, you opportunist." Wow, man, that's all it takes. You know, president calls you to the cabinet. You say, "Oh, you know, okay. Well, you opportunist."
Taking advantage.
I say cabinet members, most of them took cuts in pay.
Sure.
Bongino took a big cut in pay.
Yeah, he did.
He's out now. He's left. I know he's on his first show. I did not see it. I haven't seen it.
I haven't.
I think he's doing podcasts or something. But I think he's got a lot to contribute, even from being, because he's got so much knowledge that his reporting is going to be a little more complete than Jake Tapper's.
You think?
I think a lot more. Yeah, I do. Smithsonian's made some changes, which I find interesting. They put up a new portrait of the president last week, Donald Trump.
His mugshot?
No, that would have been cool, though. And Trump would have probably
he would have liked that one.
Yeah, would probably like that. And they removed most of the accompanying text about his 2 impeachments and the J6 Capitol attack. I guess they put his picture up and they say, "Yeah, here's a guy got impeached and did a riot," you know, that kind of stuff. He didn't like it. And the changes are at the National Portrait Gallery, which is, you know, under the American president's exhibit. There's a separate exhibit for all the presidents. And the exhibit followed Trump's accusations that museums are woke and biased, along with the White House order requiring the Smithsonian to provide extensive internal records by January 13th to risk potential federal funding reductions. So they're saying, like, look, what is today, the 12th? They're saying by tomorrow, we want some internal records on what you're thinking and why you do it like that. Now, the Smithsonian notes that the other presidents have been impeached, Clinton and was it Jefferson, I think.
Jefferson.
Were also is noted on there. And I'd like to have seen the difference. It might have been noted, not highlighted. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't see it. I didn't look at it that slowly, but the Trump administration, now they pulled that down off the Trump administration, put up a different picture that he agrees with. It's a black and white picture, or portrait, I guess, at that point, that was taken at the White House at the desk, his office desk, at the Resolute desk, that he likes and had to put up there. The White House spokesman, Davis Ingalls, said, for the first time in history, the Smithsonian Portrait Gallery has hung up an iconic photo taken by the White House honoring President Trump. His unmatched aura has seen and felt through the halls of the National Portrait Gallery. And that's just temporary because he's having a portrait made. So I guess you got to sit there while the painter mixes colors. You can't just get a snapshot and just and just
use this picture and just paint
it. I guess they got to feel the essence. I don't know. I'm not a guy that does portraits. As of Sunday, Trump was the only president in the gallery whose display lacked extended text highlighting key events. So they just took the text down. Man, if they highlight key events, I think this year would be a lot of key events. Yeah. By contrast, other portraits, including the former presidents Bill Clinton and Andrew Johnson, reportedly still note their impeachments. They're still noted. The museum has been exploring quotes or tombstone labels which provide only general information, such as the artist's name. Trump praised the change on Truth Social and said the photographs will be displayed until the institution completes the official painted portrait. Now, the changes come because of the 250th anniversary of independence. They were made at the White House in order to sweeping review of all museums ahead of it. Do you think it's fair that the president gets involved in some of the museums and critiques?
Well, I think they all do.
I don't know. I imagine they could.
They're the ones
if they're offended by something, I'm sure they're going to get it. They're going to not be closed-mouthed about it.
Right. They get to pick. Okay, I like this picture. Let's put this up or whatever. But I'm sure they got to say something about the text.
Yeah, and I didn't see if it highlighted or just was noted on there, but it was noted definitely on Clinton's and Andrew Johnson's. So, but this is because of the 250th anniversary of independence. I mean, Trump is a detailed guy if you know anything about him. Before he even ran for president, I watched a long documentary on his airplane because I like airplanes.
Right.
And he is a detailed guy. It went through how everything on that airplane had to be absolutely perfect. I mean, they came through, brushed the carpets, brushed the seats. Everything had to be perfect before he sat down, before he boarded it. And he would look at details. Wow. Dust on a window, it doesn't matter. He looks for, in fact, when his airplane was down, and this documentary shows it, they had to go down because of engine updates or engine work, which is normal maintenance. And he said, well, why it's down? You see this carpet in the galley. They had to sew two pieces together, and you can see where the seam is. I want that carpet replaced so there's no seam.
Yeah.
Stuff that I would never see. Now, I wouldn't notice,
Yeah, I worked with a guy like that.
But he absolutely notices the detail.
Yeah.
And something about a guy that notices detail, the big stuff all gets done.
Sure.
I guess so. In August, Trump posted on Truth Social that the institutions, meaning the museums and all, woke, accusing the Smithsonian and other museums nationwide of promoting narratives that disparage the U.S. rather than celebrate its achievements. And I guess he's looking to maybe make some changes there and say, look, let's take the wokeness out of it and talk about the greatness of the United States. We'll be right back.
The new year means new resolutions, not just for your body, but for your finances as well. Did you know that financial health is directly related to your identity protection? That's why you need LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back. Resolve to make your identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit lifelock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with a promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Oh, hello. It's me, the calculator that lives inside of TaxSlayer. And let me tell you, I love numbers. 1040s, 1099s, W-2s, all of them. With TaxSlayer, anyone can file a federal return for just $22.99. You'll get 100% accuracy and your biggest possible refund guaranteed. Now, those are great numbers. Need help along the way? We've got U.S.-based real human support. File by February 8th for just $22.99 and get the refund you deserve. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
AM 560. I'm back, Bill.
Hey, good morning.
Says we're talking about the 250th, which we did. We mentioned the 250th anniversary. It's coming up this year. It's already here this year.
Awesome. Yeah.
So a lot of plans going on. And did you know he's putting a new arch in DC like they did in Paris? You know, the Arc de Triomphe or something. Whatever that, yeah, Arc de Triomphe. It's kind of along that style. He's going to put that up. It doesn't say exactly where it's going, but it's going to be up in the next 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, he's going to have it. It's for the 250th. So they have
something that's going to stay there.
Yes, something permanent.
Permanent.
Or until the Democrat tears it down.
Until they knock it down.
Yeah, until somebody does. He says it hasn't started yet. It'll start sometime in the next 2 months. This is from last week. It'll be great. Everyone loves it. That's typical. Typical Trump, you know. Which
awesome.
Which I know they put down that's another lie because not everyone loves it. He was telling everybody, I guess, different outlets from phone call in Palm Beach. They love the ballroom too. But they love the triumphal arch.
So what are they going to call it? Triumphal
arch.
Not the Arc de Trump?
No. Triumphal. It sounds like Trump. I'm going to call it the Trump arch, I'm sure. And it's going to be bankrolled privately from funds left over from the ballroom because they're under budget. And it's not U.S. dollars. I mean, government dollars. It's donated dollars.
Donated funds. Well, he said it was.
Yeah,
that ballroom is going to come in.
They say it's probably going to be situated near the Lincoln Monument. I don't know where, but near the monument. But how can they build that so quickly?
Yeah,
is it prefab? I don't know.
Yeah, what does it look like? Yeah,
I don't know. We'll find out, won't we?
You know, they have 2 arches in Paris.
I didn't know.
Yeah, they have.
I've never been
the original, and then they have Arc de Défense, which is more modern, square looking.
And what's it symbolize? Do you know?
I do not.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't remember. I remember seeing it and visiting. But
I don't. During World War II, there were pictures taken of Nazi tanks going under it and stuff like that, and Hitler and all that stuff going under the arch. So it's a sign of conquering because I got the arch. You know, like it was the big prize. Well, it's well-known structure, so I guess they put that out there in the propaganda. The last major monument built on the National Mall was Martin Luther King Jr., completed in 2011. So this arch would be the newest one.
So it's going to be in the mall area.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be near the Lincoln Memorial, apparently. It's going to be out there somewhere. I mean, I want to go see it, man.
Yeah,
I do
interesting where they're going to put it.
And I'll tell you, the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Just all positiveness.
Yeah.
I mean, from his speeches that are engraved in the marble and everything, it's all upbeat. It's all about people.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't say anything about equity or DEI.
No.
It's about opportunity and fighting and, for what you want. working for it
Yeah.
and stuff, and
It's a very
treating people well.
Yeah.
According to their character.
absolutely.
We need a Martin Luther King back now. I know at the times he was not appreciated by people of different races and all. They thought he was trying to take over or something. But no, that's what's going on now.
Yes.
Yeah, he was looking for equality, not equity.
Right.
They've switched that. They flipped that into, well, we don't want to really work for it, but since you've got it, equity would mean we get the same thing.
Sure.
Socialism, social justice, which has never worked anywhere as well as we'd like it to. When I say it doesn't work, my fact checker always texts me back and say, "Not true. Works very well for the Russians because Putin is doing well." Although his is not really
Doesn't work for the people.
correct.
May work,
But
for
that's the way
leader.
they always said.
Yeah, may work for the people. I mean, may not work for the people, but it works for the leader.
Let me see. My brother puts out there, which I didn't know I could write. But okay. Dim lawmakers say their voters are threatening blood and violence over inability to hinder Trump. And he sent the article on it. And I guess there is a frustration level of the Democrats that are not getting their way. They're not used to it. And many have. And I don't know if you've seen some of the rallies, but there was some highlights that I saw the other day because that has a guy screaming that he's going to go to a gun store and buy a gun and learn how to use it. So he can, so he's not a Second Amendment guy, really,
Right.
but he wants to go after ICE. But he's saying it in public, knowing he's being filmed. I guess they feel immune, but you would think the Secret Service is going to knock on his door.
Yeah.
And say hello.
A little threatening there.
Like, what are you up to? I mean, that doesn't mean it's an arrest, but it's definitely an interview. Another listener says Trump is the only whiny baby who ever complained about such trivial things because he's a narcissist. Part of that, I believe. I mean, I think he's a narcissist.
Yeah, he does have those tendencies for sure.
But I don't know. He's the only whiny baby. I don't know. We got a lot of whiny babies out there. I don't know if you've seen Tim Walz lately. Have you seen that?
Yeah, right.
Where he's so ridiculously bad at trying to put blame off and stuff, and he resigned from his campaign, not his office, his campaign, to run for governor because because that's one minute spent with that means I can't spend a minute protecting people in Minnesota. That's what I do. What an idiot! I mean, where's he been for 8 years, dude?
Right.
I mean, I think the walls will come down on him if everything we think about it is true, and that he was, in best case scenario, ignoring what was going on.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, promoting it.
Yeah.
Well, let me turn the dog loose so that Tanya can sway the dog with her. See, look, she got the dog to shut up. And she's gonna be up for the next hour. Wait a minute. Greg Wilkinson just sent me fraud charges filed against 12 defendants in phase 2 of Operation Nightingale. That created illegal licensing and employment shortcuts for aspiring nurses.
Wow,
I didn't know about that one.
No,
That's why they call it Nightingale.
Nightingale. Nurses and Nightingale. Yeah.
Yeah, 12 defense intervals of selling fraudulent nursing diplomas and transcripts. The fraud that's been going around us is crazy, and it adds up. And I heard a report the other day that they think it's 700 billion.
Not 9.
Well, overall, in the whole country.
In the whole country.
In the whole country. I'm not talking Minneapolis. They don't have that kind of money. But that estimate was 10% of the national debt.
That's crazy.
They think, well, yeah, it's probably 10% from what they're seeing. They're seeing more than that in Minneapolis, but that has yet to be proven. But I somehow don't doubt it.
I don't either.
That there's fraud going on in every aspect of it all. So
wasn't that the whole point of Doge?
It was.
You know?
And Doge was hated by them.
Yeah.
They went out and burned Teslas because we don't want you to look into
You
the
don't want-
books.
yeah.
Uh,
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain kind of
Right.
stuff.
I don't know where it's going to go or how it's going to stop, but right now I think the public is mostly interested in getting the fraud taken care of. I mean, we don't want to keep paying taxes.
Yeah. It's our money.
Yes. But I'm sure the people that don't pay taxes, they want to block it. Stop looking for fraud.
Yeah.
I'm making money on it. We'll be back. It's the top of the hour. Tanya White will be up next to join us. Yeah, that's her exciting my dog. Let's go. We'll be right back.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you.
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma. To America chants in Iran. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Big counter demonstrations supporting Iran's regime after days of protest against Iran leaders that led to a deadly crackdown. President Trump has said he could take action to stop Zaid Ghazni to the White House.
The president told reporters last night that Iranian leaders have reached out to the White House and set up a meeting to negotiate, but the U.S. might have to act before they ever meet because Iran is starting to cross his red line.
There seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent. If you call up leaders, they're leaders because they rule through violence.
Human rights groups report more than 500 protesters being killed in the crackdown. It's also included Iran shutting down the internet and cutting off phone service. Someone drove a U-Haul into a group of anti-Iran demonstrators in Los Angeles.
One person was hit, but no one was seriously hurt. Protesters scrambled to get out of the way, but ran after the vehicle and tried to attack the driver. The truck, windows and side mirrors were shattered, was stopped several blocks away and surrounded by police cars.
Fox Tanya J. Power, that driver was taken into custody. Now to the anti-ICE protests. After Minneapolis has also expanded to other cities after what demonstrators call murder. When an immigration agent shot and killed a woman, Homeland Security maintainers drove toward him. Secretary Kristi Noem tells Fox Sunday Morning Futures.
If they conduct violent activities against law enforcement, if they impede our operations, that's a crime.
Noem says there's sending hundreds more agents to Minneapolis. The Federal Reserve Chairman, President Trump, called a moron for not cutting interest rates soon enough and big enough, is now under criminal investigation over Jerome Powell's testimony to Congress about Fed building renovations. Powell, in a video statement, says he has confirmed in the face of threats, and this is about if the Fed can be independent, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. America's listening to Fox News. Relief Factor loves hearing from pain-free customers and hope that you're going to be the next right. And Kim wrote in and said, before trying Relief Factor, Glenn, I struggled just to make it through my work days. I'd collapse on the couch at night, aching everywhere. Within a few weeks of starting Relief Factor, that daily pain began to fade. Now I'm keeping up at work. I still have energy left for my family. My life has changed. Kim is the story of thousands of kitchens and office desks and factory floors. The story of parents having more love to give because they have strength to share it. Relief Factor doesn't just ease pain, it restores your evening, your laughter, and the simple joy of just being present. Relief Factor has given me a big part of my life back, whether in the cold and elevation of our ranch or walks along the beaches with my wife in Florida. Relief Factor is 100% drug-free and targets the inflammation that causes pain so you can move better and feel better and actually enjoy life. Try their 3-week quick start, $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com, 1-800-4-RELIEF, 1-800-4-RELIEF, and see if you're not the next to get out of.
From the News 11 Information Desk, I'm Max Marie. A peaceful protest was held in Yuma over the weekend at the site of a recent hit and run. Family and friends from Mariella Acosta gathered near the intersection of South Avenue B and West County 14th Street. Acosta was killed in a hit and run in December at the age of 21. The person responsible for the hit and run turned himself in and went to court, but was released because no charges were filed. Now the family is looking for resolution. The hit and run took place on the early morning of December 6th. And over the weekend, Yuma County residents kicked off the Relay for Life season with participation in #FirstLaugh. Attendees took a ceremonial first laugh in honor of cancer patients and survivors. The event started at 11 a.m. at Inca Lanes, where after the lap, participants could register and sign up for the bowling tournament for $25. Proceeds from registering will go towards Relay for Life for Human Counter. Catch us on the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for the latest local news, weather, and sports.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".
AM 560 KBLU. Russ Park with you and Bill Reagan.
Hey, good morning.
But we're not going to talk too much because we have a real guest.
Yeah.
And Tanya Wright.
A real guest?
A real guest. He just kind of here regularly, like a guest host. You're like a real guest.
Okay.
And you're loved.
Okay.
I could say, I'm reading
Well,
this
that
shirt.
sounds good.
I thought that was
Very well.
that was my cue card.
Yes, sure. Let's go with that.
All right. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Just wanted to stop by and wish everybody a happy new year. I know that we're 12 days into the year, but today is a very important day. The second session of the 57th legislature opens today. Yes. And obviously the governor will be delivering her State of the State address and all of that good stuff. I'm just hoping that the people there, I got to be there on the floor last year.
You were.
It was quite an experience to see her up close and to see the stark difference between the Republican side, the Democrat side, and just hoping that some of our elected officials don't roll their eyes at her too much because then they'll get stuck back there. Because
it's kind of like watching the federal, where one side stands up and applauds, the other side grumbles.
Yes,
it's a little like that.
it's a lot like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who was your sponsor? Who took you onto the floor?
I was with Senator Tim Dunn.
Tim Dunn.
Yes,
Great.
and we were sitting right there with Majority Leader Carbone and Representative Cupper.
Awesome. That's a good crowd.
Yes.
Of course, Montenegro had to sit up front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. This year, I'm like, there's too much going on right now. This is a crazy week. And so I decided to stay and put some things in order.
Good.
But yes, I have a great message to deliver today, just to bring some awareness to your listeners. And today I'm talking about Teen Pact. Teen, as in teenager, Teen Pact. It's one word. And it is a national organization, nonpartisan, but obvious in its conservative values when it comes to leadership, Christian leadership. So we develop leaders, godly leaders, and use politics and government as a conduit.
That's unusual. I guess it's unusual that we don't always think that way when we can put politics with religion, with Christian values, but it belongs there.
Correct. Yes, you have to be really firm in your foundation with Christianity, with godly principles of integrity, transparency, all of that, and then you bring that into politics and government. So what we do is a twofold program. I will tell you about the teen side first, and then we will focus on the other side. And the reason why I don't want to skip on that one is because obviously it's the core of our program. We bring teenagers, ages 13 through 19, to the Capitol. And this is a national program, right? So everybody in every state has this. They go and they take their teens to the Capitol for a whole week.
Wow.
They train them, teach them on parliamentary procedure, how to write a bill, how a bill becomes law, state government. We take the tour of the museum. They used to be the House of Representatives. We pray over our leadership. We worship, and so there's just a lot that encompasses that entire week.
Now, I take it you're part of the leadership of this teen group.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
So you
the
guys spend a
class
whole week
coordinator.
here?
Yes, we
Really?
do. Well,
Yes.
actually, we have about 70 students,
Okay.
and we have to run the class twice because we have double that. So
You have
we
70
would
students just out of you.
no,
Okay.
out of everywhere in Arizona.
Okay, statewide.
Yes, statewide.
How are they chosen?
Application.
Application?
Yes, they register, and then it's the first come, first serve. We don't have so many openings,
We saw it.
and so we have about 70 the first week, 70 the second week.
Okay.
This year, though, we had a wait list of about 70, so we're
Wow.
looking at opening a third class next
So
year.
how many from Yuma?
This year, we have about 25.
That is huge
Yes.
representation for a
Yes.
small city.
25 from Yemen, bringing all my people.
Mm.
The story is, we do have an 8 to 12-year-old program.
Okay.
And so we started them young. The main focus is the teen side, right? But then we said, hey, let's just go a little bit earlier and get them started with just the one day. And that's what I will be talking about today. And so my children have been doing that since they were 8. And then when they were old enough to go to the week-long camp, that's when my husband and I started to get involved with the leadership. My husband Josh has been a chaperone. I've been a chaperone. I'm a class
So
coordinator.
you've been doing this for some time.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, and
I-
we
I've
see
never
the
heard
fruit of the labor that we put into it.
Mhm.
So it's been a huge blessing to have a program like that. We need to keep it going here in Arizona. It really does make a difference when you are very intentional about raising up godly leaders, 'cause it is a leadership school really, and then use politics and government as a conduit to bring that awareness to leadership.
Did you
So
talk about that separation of church and state?
that is different. It was to keep the government out of the church, not the other way
That's
around.
exactly right.
So, what happens is we have the students there for a whole week. They get to meet elected officials. They get to run for office. They get to run campaigns. They memorize scripture that has to do with authority and government, things like that. Unfortunately, like I said, that camp is already full because it's just that good. And next year we will be starting a third class. So now 3 weeks are going to be full of youth out there in the Capitol. Our elected officials love to meet our students. Last year, we had Michelle Pena and Nick Cupper and Tim Dunn come out and meet our students. Even Senator Brian Fernandez came out and said, "Come, let me introduce you to this group." And he was just absolutely impressed. He said, "Wow, these students are so knowledgeable. They're dressed in business attire. I mean, we take this seriously." And at the end, I said, "Hey, guess what? They are homeschooled and they use ESA. They use ESA to pay for part of this program." And he was like, "Hmm."
Well,
So,
he gives seminars on why we should drop ESA.
right. So this is a great way to use some of the funding. It won't cover the whole thing because ESA doesn't cover travel, lodging, or food, but it does cover the class part of it and any dress attire that they need to acquire for that program. And so what I want to focus on today is the 8 to 12-year-olds
Okay.
because yes, it is important to have the teens there for an entire week. We stay at a camp overnight. We have the chaperones, we have the worship, we have the leadership, all of that. But the younger ones get to come for one day, just the Friday, from 9 to about 3 or 4. And we literally take over the house floor. The children, 8 to 12-year-olds, are sitting at our representatives' desks. They use their microphones. They have the homework that they have to complete before they go. They have to write a bill. It can be a serious one. It can be a funny one. Like, yes, they write bills. It can be like, every Tuesday shall be Taco Tuesday, and you have to eat tacos every Tuesday. Or it can be something really serious that is near and dear to their hearts. They get to read it from the wheel. So if you go to the House of Representatives, it's full of 8 to 12-year-olds for that day because you know that the House is not in session on Friday. So we take advantage of that. We take it over and we get to worship and pray for our leadership. And the 8 to 12-year-old one-day program is basically a baby version of what we do for the entire week with the older ones, with the teenagers. It's amazing what these little kids can do. They run scripture and run campaigns and they run this and all of that good stuff, but in the baby version. So if you go to teenpact.com, you get to see, again, teen as in teenager, teenpact.com, you get to see all of the different states that have this program. So you find Arizona, click on it, you can register your child. We still have openings for the 8 to 12-year-old program. And that is the first and second Friday of February. So it's coming up. It's the 6th and the 13th. And you can sign them up for the one day, pick your preferred date. You go to the Capitol, you can drive up there the same day and come back, or you can stay overnight, make a trip out of it. It's only $50 for the day. And you can get a lunch with us and hang out, learn all kinds of things. So the parents can stay and sit up in the gallery
Or the
and watch
grandparents,
everything.
yeah.
Yes, whoever accompanies the child, they can drop them off or they can sit up there at the
Yeah.
gallery. So it is a wonderful opportunity. Children can learn so much, and it's an eye-opening experience for them because they feel like, "Oh, this is for real. This is where laws are made, and this is where the bills are passed," and it's very exciting.
I like the taco bill. I'm hoping Nick fixes it.
Right?
Yeah, maybe we'll get him to do that.
So how many of our teen Republicans in our teen Republican group have been through the program?
So far, last year, there were 11 teen Republicans that went to Teen Pact. Considering that it's about 25% of our membership.
Wow.
So
That's
it's
awesome.
a pretty high number. This year we have 7 going, but a total of 25 students and staffers. Because well, this is the other part of it. I am the adult in the room. I put together the camp, the meals, the chaperones, the overnight stays, book the rooms at the Capitol and all of that. But there are teenagers that are staffers and interns that actually do the teaching. So that is where you're going, where you have the 8 to 12-year-olds, and then they graduate 13 to 19, and they get to go into that program where they can be staffers and interns and do the teaching. And so we put that together for them, and they get to glean from people closer to their age, and they get to see them as mentors. It's really, really awesome. We have obviously a lot of returning students because they love the
They
program.
do like it.
Mhm.
Oh, I'd imagine.
They can also get high school credit for it.
Really?
Mhm.
Some kind of civics thing or whatever.
Correct. Yes. Not for the 8 to 12-year-olds, but
Yeah.
for the week-long camp. So, this year we have great speakers, and Speaker Montenegro is the sponsor for 1 week, and Treasurer Kimberly Yee is the sponsor for the 2nd week.
Really great speakers.
Well, we have other speakers too,
Yeah.
judges and all of that, but they are sponsors for the week. So we're really excited this year. We just want to invite people, if you have 8 to 12-year-olds, and you can go to the Capitol for just the one day. It is definitely worth it. Definitely worth the trip.
Now, on this organization, are you meeting throughout the year, or is it just something you culminate just on this month, and then you?
A little bit of everything.
Oh, you do.
For us, specifically for the February program. We start talking around July,
Okay.
just kind of planning things out because registration opens in September, and then it goes snowballs from there until we finish up. But Team Pact itself has events throughout the year. It's like the national convention, and then they have the all girls camp and all the boys camp and all the alumni tracks that they can pick and choose. They might really find that they want to learn more about legislation. So they go to that intensive camp, or they might be more interested in terms of like the fundraising or the leadership or whatever. There are different tracks that they can pick and choose to go to throughout the year.
Okay. So, because there's a lot of pre-work to do. I mean, to write a bill, to understand it.
Mhm.
'Cause you don't want to learn it there. You want to have an understanding of what you're going to do first,
Mhm.
and then you hit the ground. You appreciate what you're seeing.
Yes.
See
Yeah.
it work.
Mhm.
I like the idea. I've got an 8-year-old granddaughter. I have no idea what her schedule is. I mean, she dances so much, but
Mhm.
I think
It's just the one day.
I think she could take a
Just
Friday.
drive her up on Friday.
Yeah.
Make a trip out of it. It'll be fun. She can sleep on the way because it starts at 9, so you'd have to, start driving around 5:45 or so, and
She's up by
then
then.
on the way back, you can just chit chat away. It'll
Yeah.
go fast.
Well, this girl talks.
You would love to be a part of it, just to sit there and observe.
Absolutely. I've gone to the Capitol and watched the big boys do it a lot, but not recently, not in the last few years.
Yeah. Well, even an 8-year-old can do it.
Oh, gosh.
We teach them how.
On the day they're up there, will there be some legislators hanging out?
If they want to, they can, of course. They are in session Monday through Thursday, so our teenagers have a better chance of meeting with them.
Right.
Obviously, I was pestering some of them, texting them, "Hey, we're out here, we're outside, we're at the Senate," and they would come out and talk to them.
They get
It's just
requests
so
all the time
awesome.
to do things, and a lot of times I'm sure it's like, oh no, this isn't one of those. I'm sure this is one of those that they're in line for. They would
Yeah.
love to do this.
Yes, they would.
Yeah.
They would. And those that are in the area, of course. Of course, I know that Majority Leader Carbonas lives in Buckeye, but I really honestly think he lives at the Capitol because he works so damn hard.
He really
He's
does.
always there. You don't even, I just admire him so much.
I do. You know who sings his praises? Montenegro.
Oh, they are
Big
a
time.
great team.
Big
They are an incredible team.
Yeah, they really are. We're lucky to have them,
Mm-hmm.
and they know Yuma, and they come to Yuma quite a bit. I mean, not Montenegro not so much anymore, but he has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's got the whole state now, though. So
Yeah, he does.
he doesn't do a lot. So what do they occupy the rest of the week with? I mean, is it sports and stuff, or visiting museums, or
With what?
with
the
the teams? They go up there for a whole week. You're not in the Capitol all week, are you?
Yes, we
You
are.
go in every day.
Every single day. And we jam pack the schedule. They learn the grassroots, the door knocking. We make it fun where,
Okay, so there is some training going on.
oh, yes, there's training going on all day long.
Okay.
There's somebody that knocks on the door, one of the students, and it might be, it's obviously a staffer, but they pretend to be a Russian woman, and she's got the Russian accent, and she's like, "So what are you doing about communism?" And it's just hilarious. And then they close the door and somebody else knocks. And it might be a pregnant woman with a ton of kids around, running around, being distracted. So you learn how to talk to voters
And you're able to
at the door.
you can use the facilities there at the Capitol
Yes.
for all that?
Yes.
Oh, wow. They give you a conference room or something? Or?
Yes, we rent out the room.
Okay.
And so there's just a lot of trainings from the grassroots all the way up to running for office. They actually literally run for office and vote for them. They run campaigns, everything.
Wow.
It's very, very thorough and very complete. Love it.
I really didn't know the organization. That's kind of amazing.
And what a lot of people say is, shouldn't they be learning this at school?
No. They're not doing it.
They're not learning it at school, but they should be.
Absolutely, they should be.
This is an incredible opportunity because we make it happen in Arizona. It's not just like, they send people here. We are locals. So I bring my whole entourage. I have my breakfast coordinator that goes with me. I have my dinner coordinator that goes with me. Treasurer Kimberly Euster coordinates our lunches. We have a great network that we're building year after year.
It'd be nice to see 70 kids just out of Yuma, but imagine we could.
Oh, absolutely, we
We
could.
could do that. But,
Yes. That's why I'm here. I'm just putting it out there.
yeah. And would there be room in the organization? I don't know. The organization would have to, because there's only one Capitol building. You can't get 10,000 kids in
Well,
there.
that's why we have to break it up into different weeks.
And 70 would be about all we could handle.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't have rooms that are bigger than that. So that's our cap, and so that's what we do. And seeing that the wait list was so long, we're like, oh, let's just start a third class. Obviously, we will need class coordinators and just more passionate people. So I said, hey, come and observe, come and hang out, see what it's about, and then maybe next year you can help us in a certain capacity.
Who designed the curriculum?
The main office does. It started in Georgia. Actually, Eccles, he was a corporate commissioner in Georgia, and our current corporate commissioner, corporation commissioner, Nick Myers, knows him. They're friends. He started it in the 90s, and it started growing. They started adding states, however many states every year. So
That's awesome.
it's really awesome. Yeah, we started Arizona in 2001, so it's been going for a little while.
Was that all you came to cover?
Yes.
Did we get it all done?
Yes. You can talk about whatever you want, but that's what I was here for.
Well, that's good. Let's take a break first, and we'll be right back. AM 560.
Sprague Sports is Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters. Why? Because Sprague Sports is the difference. Where else can you buy, sell, trade, or consign firearms with free expert appraisals always? There's nothing like Sprague Sports. With local price matching, you can buy with confidence at Sprague's. And all Sprague's firearms come with a lifetime warranty. And talk about customer service. There's a gunsmith always on duty. And there's expert one-day sight-in service. But that's not all. Sprague Sports has got training classes, including Arizona CCW, First Shot, Hunter's Education, and more. Sprague's handles Glock, Blue Label pistols, and is your NFA dealer in suppressors and full auto. That's why we call them the experts. And Sprague's is Yuma's Yeti headquarters, the best Yeti selection and free ice for life. Sprague's has 15 lanes of certified indoor shooting range and gun rentals you can try before you buy. That's Sprague Sports, Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters. Responsible gun ownership since 1956. 32nd Street next to Lowe's.
There's a man in DC.
AM 560 KBL. You, Russ Clark, back with you. Bill's still here.
Hey, good morning.
And we locked the door so Tommy can't leave. It's just the way that way that works.
Mhm.
Which I want your perspective and viewpoints on Minneapolis a little bit. And I know we've talked about it nationwide a little bit. It's been going on, but you're a naturalized citizen
Yes.
and and you came to the United States in college,
I came to the U.S. at 17
17.
for college. Mhm.
Okay, and never left.
No, I did leave.
Oh, you never. Oh, okay.
I did leave. I lived in the Dutch Caribbean and Brazil, Argentina, and then I
Okay.
came back.
And then you came back. And
Yes.
when you came here at 17, were you already applying for citizenship? Or
No, I was.
you were just here to go to college?
I had
and
a
learn?
student visa.
Okay.
Mhm.
And all
Yeah.
that. The deal that's going on with ICE right now in Minneapolis and the anger, the protests and all that, a lot of people standing up saying that we should let people that have broken the laws come in the country illegally, leave them alone. They're our neighbors. They work hard and all that kind of stuff. What do you think when you see this stuff?
It breaks my heart because I see both sides. I see the need for borders. I see the need need for protecting our citizens with law enforcement. We need to respect them. But I also see the human side of it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the problem is you give them an inch, they take a mile. So breaking the law is breaking the law. There's no way around it. You just need to keep repeating it over and over. Hey, you broke the law. You
Yeah.
broke the law. Do it right.
What do you think of these legislatures that step up and say the laws were broken and that we need to protect them because they're part of our community? And they ignore the fact that ICE has a warrant out for them, a deportation warrant, and they're going to wrap their arms around them and say, no, you can't leave.
Right. Well, it is the narrative that they decided to embrace right now, just like they have decided to do the my body, my choice, the abortion, all of that. Right now, this is the it item, I guess. So they just embrace that.
For me, I don't think it should be a political thing. It's just a right and wrong thing. I mean, I feel bad for everyone involved, including the lady that was shot. I don't think that's a good thing. It's unfortunate.
Right. Yes.
But she was trained to not respect authority, and she crossed the line and put a agent's life in danger.
Yeah.
And it's all unfortunate. But somehow we're training people right now in this country to disrupt, to get in the way, which is breaking the law, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know what point that becomes conspiracy, but I'm surprised at seeing it from such. I mean, when you start seeing governors and senators and representatives that are misrepresenting the situation and confusing people.
Well, and like I said, it's the narrative that they choose.
Yeah.
Now, when you are painting Trump and his administration as a dictator and forcing you to do this or that, well, obviously the thing is to rebel and to be defiant. The problem is that, again, the law is the law. And if you break the law, there are consequences for that.
What do you think of Trump going into Venezuela?
Oh, that was a huge shock for me.
Was it?
I was not expecting that at all.
Of course, with a husband that's a Green Beret,
Well, you need to understand, I lived in the Dutch Caribbean.
Okay.
On a clear day, I could see Venezuela on the other side of the ocean, and it was the most terrifying thing. This was in the early 2000s. So imagine now, 20, 25 years later. Back then, I was terrified that such a government was in place that close to us, and seeing how many were fleeing to the islands. Obviously, I welcomed them with open arms because I knew the kind of life that they were living, but also because they spoke Spanish, and it gave me a little bit of a break from the Dutch and the Papiamento. But it was really scary, and I got to hear firsthand what they had escaped. And then seeing this liberation all these years later, a couple of decades later, I thought it would never happen.
But you see it as a liberation, not an attack on a foreign government.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And there's 8 million refugees out of Venezuela. It's like the biggest of any country.
Yeah, and there's still more growing. That number's growing.
Well, maybe some of them have a reason to go back. Many have stated that they want to go visit. That not necessarily go, but they want to be able to see friends, families that they haven't seen in decades.
My wealth advisor out of Florida is Venezuelan.
Okay.
And we just talked a couple of days ago. I hadn't talked to him since last year. So he said, "Did you hear about Venezuela?" And I said, "Yes, congratulations." He was so excited. He's all pro-Trump and pro-capitalism and all that. So he was over the moon. He said the problem was that when I first heard that they had gone in, I was about to jump on an 8-hour plane, and I couldn't get any updates or any news for 8 hours. But once he he landed, he was able to hear that. And just hearing it firsthand and that emotion, that excitement, he's like, "Our dear President Trump," he says. That's how he talks about Trump.
Initially there were rallies in the streets in Venezuela, pro-Trump and all that. Now that's all stopped because there's motorcycle gangs of thugs that are paid for by the government to shut it down, arrest. They've killed 400, 500 people. And they're grabbing cell phones and checking to see if you wrote anything positive about the U.S. or Trump. And they'll take you away if you have it. So my understanding is people in Venezuela now are not traveling with cell phones.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it on the down low because the government is trying to.
So the work's not over.
Yeah, it's not over for sure. It's a great start, though.
It is. And I don't fully understand. There's not going to be an invasion. Trump is not going to put troops on the ground.
Right.
But he's cooperating, or he's got a cooperation from, was it Rodriguez, the president now? She's agreed, but he's dissatisfied right now with, letting the thugs go out and kill your citizens and do all that. And it's going to be testing how much influence he really has.
Right. Yeah.
But he's probably called off a second attack. I guess it was already one scheduled to go back in and knock out something. I don't know what at this point.
Wow.
But he called it off because he had some cooperation with Rodriguez. But it looks like now that he's doesn't think he's getting that cooperation.
Well, he needs to. He's smart. He needs to keep track of people that are talking out of both sides of their mouths.
Yeah. And I think it's smart not to try to invade, not to try to take it over. We don't need boots on the ground. We need to use what's there. This is a whole different persuasion. Like, we're not going to let your oil leave. We're not going to let it go, but we'll handle it for you, sell it, and give you the money for it. Which is not what they've been receiving great discounts on the oil because it's oil that's not legal, and the market's got sanctions against it, and so it's going to China and everything, and at a great discount. Yeah, they're selling. Trump says, "Well, we'll give you full price."
Well, he's going to handle it well because I know that he has their interests at heart, and he's a fair man. He's going to help them out. It's not just to help ourselves, but
it's to the benefit. Well, it does help us to help.
It is security.
If that country's running better in this hemisphere, and that's what he's bringing to light,
that'll help us.
Then it's better for all of us. That we've got good trading partners, we've got good people we can work with. We don't have to worry about this illegal activity out of hand where the government's been running the transfer of illegal drugs to the United States.
Yes, it's for our security.
On the Tim Walz thing, and I'm sure you followed a little bit of that, of the governor of Minneapolis or Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's being, accused, and I don't know if it's true yet, but of knowing what was going on at the very least, or abating it at the very most, or profiting from it at the worst. And right now he's changing his story a little bit, and he's blaming Trump at first. That didn't work for him.
Right.
The real, when I read these stories early on, I heard that the Somalia group was so powerful, even though they're 80,000 people, they're 1 to 2% of the entire population. They're not overwhelmingly big, but they're so powerful that the politicians are afraid to cross them because they vote in blocks and they own it. They like brought a Somali community that's run by warlords, and they own it, and that Tim, as well as other politicians, have bent over backwards to make sure that they don't prosecute them, that they don't do it, and maybe even help enable their illegal activity, which has ballooned unbelievable in size. Billions of dollars is what they're estimating at this point now. Should somebody like Tim Walz be arrested?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, corruption runs deep there. Billions of dollars. Do you think that he knew about all of it and chose to look the other
Look
way
the other
because he
way,
was
yeah.
getting kickbacks, or did he not know the
It's,
enormity of this operation?
I don't believe as governor he could not have known.
Yeah.
In fact, we're seeing so many
Too big.
whistleblowers that claim they have spoken to his office and
Mhm.
everything. There's been people writing about it since 2016.
He has to.
Yeah.
A guy from Harvard, George Russ, has been writing about the criminal activity that's going on, and about how much our immigrants hurt us, in that depending on what country they're from, and it looks like there's been studies in Europe about which countries that you have immigrants from that actually add to the economy or take away.
Really?
Yeah.
You have that list?
No, I just have a couple of them. I mean, they didn't give a list, but they pointed out a lot about the Somali community on their negativeness. In other words, they don't.
They don't.
Well, the average income of a Somali household is 43,600. The national average is 78,000, which means they're on social programs.
Oh, okay.
And this is on top of the fraud that's alleged. It says 58% do not speak English. 39% have no high school. 89% use some kind of welfare. 86% are on Medicaid. And 28% of Minnesota households hit by non-native citizens are on Medicaid. There are 86. Other non-native households are 26. And 1 in 5 Somali men at working age are unemployed. And
those are really high numbers.
And they're saying that studies in Europe have shown that immigrants from certain countries are net takers, and other countries are positive. And I think everyone knows the immigrants that are the most contributed is the Asians. I mean, per capita, Asians are the richest in our country. Per capita, I guess it's a culture.
Cultural. Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
They come and expect, math and science. We're going to work. And
different work ethic.
I think so. So I don't. The Finnish did a study on it. It was similar results, and it says Somalians and other places are net lifetime losses. Every citizen that's a Somalian is a net lifetime loss. Is that a fair analysis to do?
Well, you have to know.
Yeah.
You have to analyze and survey and all of that. That's really sad, though.
I remember once when somebody was doing a survey or a study on how women think versus men, as far as why more women aren't in leadership. And I know all the women's groups were jumping up and says, "How dare you do that study? You've got daughters. You don't want to do that study. Well, of course you need to do the study."
Yes.
And I think it's fair to do this study also.
Yeah.
But now knowing that, I think we should take that into account when we're allowing immigration. Not that they're barred or whatever, but we know what we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to make a better effort to integrate instead of letting it go its normal course of
non-assimilation.
Yeah.
Right.
And right now, I read that all the Somalis were sent to Minnesota in different areas, rural areas all over. They kind of spread it out. But the leaders of the Somali organizations called them all to Minnesota. They all moved. And they all come and they live like communal almost. They work together and they fraud together. They do all of that.
They fraud together.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
That's crazy. Trump administration's lowered the refugee numbers for this year to $7,500. But the president has more power than that. This is real presidential stuff on the foreign policies and all that kind of stuff versus Congress. He has more opportunity to do that, which means there's opportunity for the next president to be a lot like a Biden, open up the borders and flood us, which was a problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a lot of countries opened up prisons, a lot of countries opened up mental hospitals and sent them here, and then people like China, we got tens of thousands of Chinese, and which is not normal. We don't normally get refugees from China. Because the CCP says you can't. All of a sudden they said you can. So we don't know what what they're doing. But
Right.
I think this is good information. I don't know how many people are going to read this or pay attention to it. But I would imagine that the people on the left, and I'm going to make it separate from left and right. I don't think the people on the left are going to read this or they'll just say it's racist
It's
and
racist.
biased.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. But I found it interesting that we know these numbers.
Yeah.
And we open the doors to welcome them all in, knowing they're going to fleece us.
Well, 20 years ago, when I applied for my H-1B visa, it was to come and teach at a Spanish immersion school. It was a magnet public school, and they wanted native speakers to teach the American students. Everything required state curriculum, but in Spanish.
You were going to teach it in Spanish?
Well, yes. I student taught in a French immersion school because my minor was French, but they wanted to hire me later for the Spanish immersion. And so when I was getting my H-1B, I had support from the public school system were my hires, and even then they said, you do know that you cannot steal an American's job. You cannot take an American's job. So you need to prove that what you are doing and coming here is something that an American can do. And it was really, really tough to go through the process.
I wonder if they even say that stuff anymore.
I don't know. I don't think they do, but I don't have proof, obviously.
Yeah.
But yes, it was really, really tough. Now, what was awesome was that I was a second grade teacher. The other second grade teacher is an American. She was a missionary to Honduras, so she could speak Spanish. And she's now my sister-in-law. So that's how we all met. That's how the whole thing happened. But she was an American, and she was able to do the job because she had been a missionary to Honduras and learned the language and all of that. So,
and she obviously had a desire to do that. Some setbacks for Mandani. What do you think about Mandani being our mayor in New York?
Well, obviously, we heard horrible things about him that he was planning on doing. And then there was a little bit of a window where he was kind of walking back a few things. And now I'm a little confused because on one side, he's saying everything's going to be free and we're going to make this free and that free. And now he's wanting to increase the prices
of the transportation.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to think right now.
Well, he was walking back before the election, after the election, even in his announcement, he said, I'm a Democrat socialist, and he doesn't talk socialist value at this point. And part of his desire was to go after housing, free housing or get cheaper housing, have government-run housing. Federal judges sent him back a little bit. There was a Pinnacle group right now that is maintaining, according to this article, properties that were maintained poorly. Not according to this article, I don't know, but they do rent freezes up there where they're not making any money, and then still want you to maintain the property like they're paying full rent. So Pinnacle is in bankruptcy, and Donnie's administration tried to slow down the sale of it because he wants to step in and have some options on either purchasing or get involved in the purchase of it, instead of letting it go to another organization. And the judge said, no, get out of here. He said he's an interested party because they owe him $12 million in unpaid fines. They've been fining these people for not having whatever upgrades or running water. I don't know. But the bankruptcy judge said no, he rejected it. And so he's sending him back. I mean, I don't know what he thought when he said he was going to be mayor, that he had carte blanche control over transportation, over housing, and owning buildings, not owning buildings, and all that stuff. But
I wonder what our mayor has to say about that.
I don't think he wants control. The mayor likes it like it is. Doug has done a great job.
Yes, he has.
In fact, he's the only mayor I know of during COVID that was given that power of, emergency type powers where he can do some things without going to the city council. And he opened it up. He says, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to city council and have a vote, which I respected huge. I mean, he could have made the decision on his own, but he decided to go on. Are you aware of Cia Weaver, the person that he has hired to the office to protect tenants? She, I don't know if you've heard about it, but she previously stated that home ownership was a weapon of white supremacists.
Yeah. Her reputation was not that good as far as the things that she was saying.
Socialist.
Yeah, the things that she was saying regarding home ownership and the ability to own property and set prices the way you want to set them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She said property should be treated as a collective good.
Yeah.
Instead of individuals.
Anytime you hear the word collective, it's a scary thing.
Man. Yeah, that's kind of a key word. But she thinks that, and I know when Tommy's mentioned before, that's going to hurt white families.
Right.
That they're going to have to, just get used to it, all that stuff. And they've even talked about charging white families more for things. So did your husband pay more than you?
No. No, she doesn't.
See, and I say that because how do we work through blendedness if they're going to be so racial? How do we work through blendedness?
Yeah.
Because the United States is a melting pot and we're completely blended, but yet to look at the news, you would think we're completely, solid racial segregates.
Yeah.
We're not. We're not. We don't, we see beyond that here. And I don't know how they expect to sort it out. So
I think she's sending a message that we need a commercial or something. She wants attention.
All right, Lexi, we'll do that. We'll do like that.
Well, if you hate windy days, this is not your week. Mostly sunny, wind gusts out of the north at 15 to 25, maybe stronger today, 73 the high. Clear and 50 tonight. Sunny and north winds at 10 to 20 tomorrow, 77 the high, 50 on Tuesday night. And then for Wednesday, mostly sunny and 81 with calmer winds that day.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Allo Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slowed down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Allo Fiber.
The 32nd annual, highly anticipated Yuma Home and Garden Show returns to the Yuma Civic Center January 16th to the 18th with hundreds of displays, the latest in home improvement, and come see what's new. Compare, shop, and save with show-only prices. Visit with the experts and get all your gardening questions answered in the Garden Club showroom. Win cash in the cash machine along with other prizes. Don't miss the fun. January 16th to the 18th at the Yuma Civic Center.
Oh, hello. It's me, the calculator that lives inside of TaxSlayer. And let me tell you, I love numbers. 1040s, 1099s, W-2s, all of them. With TaxSlayer, anyone can file a federal return for just $22.99. You'll get 100% accuracy and your biggest possible refund guaranteed. Now those are great numbers. Need help along the way? We've got U.S.-based real human support. File by February 8th for just $22.99 and get the refund you deserve. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
There's a man in D.C.
And 60 KBL. You Russ Clark with you. We have to make for the dog.
Yeah, she wanted attention.
Bill and Tanya are both here.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're going to bring up the GOP thing? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm going to. This month we have moved it up to January 20th. And so it's Tuesday at the food bank on 24th. We are going to have Treasurer Kimberly Yee as our speaker. She is currently one of the candidates running for superintendent of public instruction. So she will be talking about public schools, the current state, what she plans on doing to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she would be in charge of the ESA program, school choice, and how she supports it, how she will improve it, things like that. So it will be an important meeting to listen to.
Do you think that ESA can be improved? I mean,
absolutely. Oh, yes.
Really? Okay. Well, you're up to your elbows in it. So.
Oh, yes. Don't even get me started on that one. a separate conversation for another day.
Well, we're the best in the nation, as far as I understand, for having such types of programs.
Yes.
But it can be improved. Okay.
Yes, 100%. And a lot of it has to do with the way that it is administered.
You should call the governor and give her your suggestions.
The governor?
That was tongue in cheek. She wants to kill it.
Yes, she does. I was thinking more along the lines of the Attorney General.
Ooh, she doesn't like it either.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Chris Mays is anti, which is weird for an Attorney General to jump into that.
Yeah.
But,
Yes, it's so weird. But so then we also have Keith Ware. He is currently running for re-election. He is the president of the governing board for Yuma Elementary District 1. And he's running for re-election. He's going to tell you what he's done and why he's planning on running again. It's not just running to run. You have to have a very specific reason why you want to run for re-election. And so he's got good plans. You want to hear about those too.
I think he's having a good time now with David and Shooter and Stoner.
Yes.
Stoner on that thing that they're getting things done. Amazing, and they're engaged. And I know a lot of people thought, well, they're just going to go in there and do some stuff about boys in the girls' room, and that's it. No, they're about education.
Yes.
I mean, the things that they're doing is really digging down on communication and education with parents.
Yes, they're doing an awesome job.
Yeah, they really
If you
are.
missed the December meeting, then this is your opportunity to hear about what they were doing on the board this time with Keith Ware speaking. So we have two great speakers. We have an awesome opportunity because the election season is it goes by so fast, and we only have so many meetings. We can only fit a certain number of speakers. So when you hear of a speaker coming, you want to make it, to make sure that you listen to their messaging in person. You get to ask your own questions, connect with them, all of that good stuff. And for more information, just go to unigop.com and then click on calendar, and you will see all of the upcoming meetings. We are booked through June.
Well, these are open meetings too. So
Anybody can come.
anybody can come.
Yeah. Well, you've done a great job, Tanya, putting that all out there. I know that that's not easy. I don't have that skill set, but you make it look good.
Well, it's fair for the candidates. So they're coming all the way out here to speak to a crowd to make it worth their while, but it is also fair for our local voters to be informed and educated on who these candidates are, not just word of mouth, but hear it straight from them. Get the opportunity to connect with them, and like I said, ask your questions. What matters to you? We need to hear it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be a whirlwind year. Now that we're just ramping up for elections,
The midterms are going to be crazy.
we want more people in the seats. We want more people there.
Yeah, so to reiterate, our meeting moved up to the third week this month only. After this month, we're moving back to our usual fourth Tuesday of the month.
Right.
We open the doors at 5:30 at the food bank on 24th, and the meeting runs from 6 to 7. So it's not like we'll sit there for hours and hours and hours. I mean, you can always hang out while you are tearing down your sound system and all of that. People like to do that.
We've locked the doors late as 8 o'clock at times, but people want to stay and mingle, and a lot of times our guests can stay.
It's a great time for connecting with others.
Well, you get to ask those questions, and some people don't want to ask them in the whole room. They don't really want to ask that, or there may be time or they ran out or something. But afterwards, quite often,
they get that one-on-one time.
You're going to get
those candidates.
You get that opportunity.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Tell them what you really think.
Yeah.
Yes. So everyone is invited. Bring your friends. This is going to be a really interesting one. And then to know who the speakers are for upcoming months, go to unigop.com and click on calendar. We keep that updated, and you can see all the way through May, and then we're working on our June flyer, but we're already booked through June.
At some point, we need to start asking them to bring their own chairs. For some reason, the food bank used to have like 60 chairs in there. Now they don't.
They just
And
disappeared.
we bring our own chairs
Yes.
as much as we have. I'm so glad you brought those gray ones, which you didn't seem to like once we got
Well.
them.
Yes, we definitely use them.
We use them a lot.
The group is growing every month, and so we definitely want to get people there.
That's the best way to get engaged, is to know what's going on, ask a few questions.
When are the teams taking over? What?
In March.
March.
Yes, we have the
March
Team
1.
Republicans taking over in March.
They get to run the whole meeting?
Yes, we are taking over the whole meeting.
I'm really
It's gonna
excited
be
about that.
so
Yeah.
cool.
I like stay home.
You still have to set up the sound system.
All right, I'll be there. Thank you so much for coming in, Tanya.
Thank you for inviting me.
Even you too, Bill.
No, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Lexi,
And Lexi says thank you.
Lexi says bye.
I'll be back tomorrow. AM 560 KBLU.